make his, let you know that he is here. So you won't see him, but you may hear him. And I do want anybody that follows me or anybody that is in my presence or in my energy. I want you guys to know that if you are a mom specifically, being a mom does not stop anything, right? So if I step away to go feed him for a second, that's just what it is. But it doesn't take away from the value of what this event is going to do for you. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, this is the Faith of God event, right? This is a chance for you guys to awaken to, right, the power that's within you and for you to surrender to that power, right? We have a lot of things that we're going to cover. This is going to be a jam-packed event. We are going to be together for 2 hours. During the 2 hours, there's going to be a lot of information that I give you. I am going to ask you guys to think about some things. I'm going to ask you to pull up some beliefs. Like we're going to, this is not an event where I just want you to know the information. I want you to take the information that I give you and actually apply it, right? I want you to take the knowledge that you get and put it into action. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about today when it comes to faith, right? Outside of that, we will have a Q&A session. It's typically around like 11:15. We'll have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, please write them down. Make sure you have paper, pen. You can take notes. I will tell you things to notate. But if there is something that you hear that you're like, ooh, let me write that down, please do. All of this, well, not all of them, but this session is recorded. So you will have access to a replay. If you did sign up, you will get the link sent to you. Outside of that, you can find all of my live streams except the last one on YouTube. With that, and I'm going to preface this, I'm going to say this from the beginning. I am going to give you guys lots of information. I'm going to talk to you about yourself. I'm going to let God speak through me to you. And there is going to be a chance at the end of this event for you to take action, for you not to just take the information that I just told you and put it to the wayside, but for you to actually take action on the information and move your life forward, right? So the knowledge that I give you has no value until you apply it, right? I know you guys have heard the saying, knowledge is power. That's false. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge does nothing for you. Knowing something doesn't do anything for you. It's once you apply that knowledge that you actually get the benefits of the knowledge. Okay, so let's get into it. Like I said, y'all, I took some notes. Last night I was meditating. I meditated before this event and I was like, God, just let me know what you want me to tell people, right? What word do you want me to provide? And a lot of things came up, so I wrote them down so I didn't forget them. But we're talking about faith. Okay, so we are talking about faith and we're talking about the faith of God. So I'm going to teach you guys the difference between having faith in and having the faith of, right? We're going to talk about blind faith versus faith based on understanding. We're going to talk about what faith actually is. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship as a true testament of your faith. We're going to talk about how faith is substance and evidence, cause and effect. So there's going to be a lot of information that I give you, but again, take notes. Write down your questions. If there's anything that comes up and you're like, ooh, I don't understand that, please write it down. I don't want you to forget, and I want to make sure I answer all of your questions. Like I said, we are going to have a Q&A session around 11:15, depending on how much information comes out of me. And then I can answer all the questions at that point. I do believe everybody can hear me because I feel like if you couldn't, you would have been like, hey, Queen, we can't hear you. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, right? So this event is called Faith of God, right? And I titled it Faith of God, Surrender to Your Spiritual Awakening for a reason. I have been in a space of entrepreneurship fully, like a full entrepreneur since January of this year. I have not had what you would consider a traditional job since January of this year, right? But as far as my entrepreneurship journey, it started in May of 2020. A lot of the things that I implement in my life, I didn't see the full effect of what I wanted until I started to have the faith of God versus faith in God, okay? And like I told you guys, there is a difference, and I'm going to teach you what that difference looks like. I am going to give you a little bit about me, a little bit about my backstory. It's not going to be much about me because this is not about me, right? I'm not having this event to tell you about my successes. I'm having this event to help you get to where you want to be. So yeah, I will give you a little sprinkle of, oh, like this is what I've done. This is how I've used it, but it's going to be focused on me providing the information to help you. Okay. So when it comes to having faith, right? What is faith? Right? When someone says, we've all heard the saying, uh, gosh. Oh my God, now I can't even find it. What is the saying? Um, uh, Faith without works is dead, right? We've all heard the saying, I'm just going to have faith, or walk by faith, not by sight. There we go. There, I knew it was going to come, right? We've all heard that saying, walk by faith and not by sight. But what does that really mean? What does it really mean to walk by faith and not by sight? What does it mean to have the faith of God versus faith in God, right? So when it comes to faith, right, faith is trust. Faith is assurance. Faith is confidence. Faith is belief, right? Faith is the inner certainty or the inner knowing that everything that you desire is already here, right? Faith is, like I said, it's trust, it's assurance, it's confidence, it's belief, right? It's a belief in something, a belief in someone, right? Trust in something or trust in someone, right? So when you think about faith, right? A lot of us, before I got really deep into this study, I used to think about faith in terms of religion, right? So you have, faith, and that's your religion. But I've learned now that faith is so much more than just religion. It's so much more than believing in something, right? It's an actual vibration of trust and assurance. For example, when it comes to faith, we have faith all day, every day. We have faith that when we get in an Uber, that Uber driver is going to take us to our destination. We don't know that man. We have no idea who this person is. We just got on the app, asked for a ride, and some stranger just came to get us. Okay. But we get in the car and we have the faith that this person is going to take us to our destination, right? When you order off Amazon, you have faith that somebody at Amazon is going to go on the shelf, pick up the item that you purchased, put it in the right box, give it to the right people. They are then going to transport it to you, and it's going to show up at your doorstep, right? You have faith in Amazon. You have faith when you go to a restaurant that the people that are cooking that food have not poisoned you. You have faith in the clothes that you wear, that they are going to sustain you, that they're not going to be cheaper, they're not going to fall apart, right? We don't actually see the creation of these things, but we have faith in them, right? So I want you guys to realize that you operate in faith already right now, every single day, right? You have faith when you wake up in the morning that the water is going to be on. You have faith when you get in your car that it's going to start. You have faith that when you go to your job and work 40 hours every week, that they're going to give you a paycheck, right? So we live in faith now, right? We have faith in outside things. But when it comes to faith in self, right, when it comes to having faith in your abilities, that's where it kind of changes. It kind of shifts, right? We have this kind of doubt, right? There's a feeling of worry. There's a feeling of anxiety. Like, well, I haven't done this before. Well, I don't know if I can do it. Well, this is kind of big. Well, I don't have the resources. Well, I don't know the right people, right? The only thing that we suffer from is lack of awareness and limitations in thoughts of limitation. Those are the only two things that we suffer from. If I asked you right now, what is your problem? What is the issue in your life? And you wrote it down and you told me, oh, it's my health, it's my partner, it's the money, it's this. It all comes down to, at its simplest form, lack of awareness and thoughts of limitation. Those are the only two things that are hindering you in life in any way. Everything that you believe is a hindrance comes down to those two things, right? So when I say that faith is trust, right? Faith is confidence. Confidence is knowing. Confidence is knowledge, right? If I asked you right now how confident you would be to jump out of an airplane and land on the ground, right? Your answer is going to be dependent on your knowledge of when you're supposed to jump out, how you're supposed to jump out, and the parachute that you have that is supposed to open. If you do not understand how to jump out of that airplane, if you do not understand how to pull the string on your parachute, you are not going to be confident in your ability to do so, right? If I ask you right now, how to grow your business, right? If you don't have the knowledge or the understanding of how to do that, you're not going to be confident in your ability to do so. So faith is confidence, and confidence is knowledge, right? So there's different types of faith that you can have, right? You can have what we call blind faith, or you can have faith based on understanding. And they are very, very different. And you're going to get very, very different results depending on which one you use. Okay. Faith or blind faith is faith that wavers. Blind faith is faith that as soon as the outside world says anything or shows you anything that it's not going to happen, you lose it immediately. I had a client that reached out to me last night, and she was, she's on this new journey of entrepreneurship, and she's ready to go. She made the decision. She's already, cut off all. And before I say that, let me say this: she's made a decision. Okay. The word decision, and I can't remember the two root words, but essentially the word decision means to cut off. Right? So when you decide to do something, that means you cut off all other options. I am focused strictly on this. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm giving my attention to. I've made a decision. All that other stuff ain't got nothing to do with me. Back to the story. So she was talking about, she's made the decision to go full into entrepreneurship. There's been some, little up and down, but she's like, this is what I want to do. And she had a conversation with someone, and that someone said something to her that caused her a little bit of doubt, right? Now, this is not a knock on her. This is just an example, right? That faith that she may have had, we could call it blind faith, because as soon as the outside world said, hey, shawty, that don't make no sense, that's not going to happen, she was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Whoa, 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 let's back up. Right? When the outside world starts to tell you that what you want is not manifesting, and you fold and you believe the outside world, that's what we call blind faith, right? But then you have what's called faith based on understanding, or understanding faith, right? And again, understanding comes from knowledge, right? The faith based on understanding comes from knowing who you are. Knowing that you are one with God, knowing that I and my Father are one. You can never be separated from God. You can never be apart from God. The times that our faith is wavering, or our blind faith is wavering, is because we believe in a separation of God. We believe that money is separate from God. We believe that riches are separate from God. We believe that health, whatever it is, if you have a feeling of doubt, of insecurity, of worry, of anxiety, right? It's because you are coming from a place of separation from God. If you knew wholeheartedly, without a shadow of a doubt, that you and God were one, and everything that you desire is within you because the kingdom of God is within you, you would operate, right, as if, what's going on, son? Where's your pass yet? Oh, right here. You would operate as if everything was already yours, because it is. So what I teach, and what I want to get you guys to understand today, is that I want to move you from blind faith, from faith that wavers, from faith that diminishes when the outside world says otherwise, to getting to faith based on understanding who you are at your core, so that when the outside world comes to show up and it shows you, hey, it looked like it's not happening today, you know without a shadow of a doubt, right, that it is happening. Because you and God are one. You have made your claim. You've asked God for what you want, and you're moving forward in it, right? So it doesn't matter what the outside world is showing you. You know completely, wholeheartedly at your core that everything is working out in your favor, right? So you have blind faith again, and you have faith based on understanding. Okay. Any questions so far? Now, this is what I want you guys to do before we go further. I want you in the chat, wherever you are, if you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Zoom, Facebook, wherever you're watching this event, I want you to write in the comments, or write on your paper, right, what you believe to be true today when it comes to faith, when it comes to God, and when it comes to yourself. Faith, God, and yourself. Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know what I saw on TikTok, right? I want you guys to write down what you believe to be true currently around these things, right? And if you are an entrepreneur or somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, I want you to write that down too. What are my beliefs around entrepreneurship? Do I believe it's hard? Do I believe I need to know people? Do I believe I need to have 6 months saved up because I may not make any money the first 3, 4, 5, 6 months? Right? What do you believe to be true? And the reason why I want you to bring these things up is because I'm going to help you in this event and for the decision makers after the event to actually challenge those beliefs and get them out of the way. Right? Remember earlier, I told you guys the only two things that we suffer from are lack of awareness and limitations of thought. I want to today, or I'm going to today. It's not I want, this is happening, right? I am lifting the veil in your awareness. I'm bringing what you already know to be true back up to the surface. So we've lived for however long, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. And the world has told us, has programmed us to believe that we need to know how and we need to know when. The world has programmed us and told us to believe that we need to worry, we need to doubt, and we need to be anxious. When you got here, when you came through your mother, you were perfect. You were faithful. You were confident. You were trusting. You knew without a shadow of a doubt that when you woke up the next day, mom was going to be there, food was going to be there, the world was good. You didn't have a care in the world. You wanted to walk. You looked at other people. You didn't even know how. You said, they're walking. I'm sure I could do it too. You don't need a blueprint. You didn't need anything. You came in this world confident, faithful, and trusting. You came through your mother with everything you needed for success. And then the world started to tell you otherwise. The world started to tell you, oh, well, you're a little bit too thick. You need to lose a little bit of weight. You can't be successful if you're overweight. Your health is dependent on your weight. Well, if you don't have the education, you're not going to be able to do that. Well, if you don't have all of these false thoughts of limitation that we accepted, and the awareness of our oneness with God was diminished, right? You all are spiritual beings. You are not human beings. You are spiritual beings and you're having a human experience. There's a very big difference between the two. If you believe that you're a human being, that's that blind faith. Because when you see anything in your human world, your outside world that tells you that it's not going the way you wanted to go, oh, the faith is out. Oh, well, I should just give up because it's not happening. Whoa. Right? But when you realize, when you become aware of, right, your oneness with God, you operate totally differently. I've been in this entrepreneur space for 4.5 years. Okay. And the first 4 years of that 4.5, right, I was operating with blind faith. I was in this study. I was doing the work. I was listening. I was like, okay, it's working. It's working. Soon as it didn't work, oh, well, it's not working. Let me go get a job. Soon as it didn't happen, oh, well, it's not happening. Let me go this way. Right. I was in a space of trying to help other people, right, see the God in them without truly realizing and seeing the God in myself. And over the last 6 months, literally this year, 2024, the last 6 months of my journey as an entrepreneur has been the most transformational. I was thinking last night, and this is something that I want to bring up to you guys. I was thinking last night while I was in bed, and I was focusing on the things that were not going right in my life. I was focused on the fact that, I don't have as many clients as I would like. I was focused on the fact that I'm not making the money that I would like. I was focused on the fact that I'm not having the sales that I would like, right? I was focused on these things that are not going well in my life. And since I am in this study and since I have connected back to my oneness with spirit, God shut that off real quick. He said, hold up. Are you going to ignore all of the things that are going right in your life? Are you going to ignore the fact that you were literally healing your body of diseases that you've had since you were born? Are you really going to deny the fact that you are walking in health, not trying to lose weight, not trying to count my calories, not trying to make sure I'm, eating this food and not this food? Are you focused on the fact that you have improved your relationship with food? Are you focused on the fact that you've improved your relationship with self? Like you look in the mirror and you genuinely love your body? Are you not focused on the fact that you literally have created a spiritual being in a human body, my son, that literally is the light of the world? Everybody that meets this little boy is like, oh my God, he's so happy. He's so sweet. He's so this, he's so that. Are you not focused on the fact that you've improved the relationship that you had with your child's father, and you're not showing up in the energy of resentment, anger, or guilt? No, you're not focused on any of that. You're not focused on any of the things that are going right. You're focused on the 10% of things that are not going well in your life. And I want to bring you guys back. What did I say earlier? The only two things we suffer from are lack of awareness and limitation of thought. I got the awareness, but that limitation of thought tried to come in last night. I said, oh, wait. No. No. You are on the path to your dreams. Your dreams are manifesting in this very moment. Focus on what is going well and give your attention back to God. I want you guys to focus on what's going well in your life. Absolutely, you can focus on the 10% that's going wrong, and that's what you're going to elevate. That's what you're going to make more of, right? God responds to you. God is affirmative. God says yes. So if you show up to God every single day, worried, doubtful, and anxious, focused on the things that you do not have, God says, yes, here's more for you to be doubtful, worried, and anxious about. Here's more for you to see that there's lack in your life. I don't even like to use the word lack anymore. I like to say abundance of lack, because there is no such thing as lack. You either have an abundance of things you want in your life, or you have an abundance of things you don't want. But either way, it's abundance, baby. There is no lack. If there was lack, God would know lack. And we know God is not lacking. If you don't know, let me be the one to tell you. God does not lack. God never fails. If there is failure in your life, it is from your application of his power. That's just what I'm just the messenger. God told me to tell y'all this. If there is failure in any part of your life, in your purse, in your health, in your business, in your relationships, it's not because God is failing. God is perfect. God is all, and God is omnipresent. If there's failure, it is because you have applied the power in a way that brings failure. Okay, so I want you guys to start to focus on the things that are going right. I want you to focus on the things that are going well, because the more that you give your attention to it and the more that you give gratitude for it, the more that God is going to give you more, right? Thanksgiving is coming up. Thanksgiving is a holiday. I want you guys to think about this holiday going forward as a beautiful and perfect time to consciously manifest what it is that you want. Because it's all about giving and receiving, and it's all about giving thanks. God loves praise. Ooh, baby. God loves praise. Don't you love praise? Don't you love? Oh my God, thank you so much for showing up today. Oh, you're welcome. Your kids, oh my God, they love to be praised. They love it. Dogs love to be praised. Vegetation loves to be praised. When you praise your plants versus talking down on them, they grow differently, right? So I want you guys to get into the feeling of gratitude for all that you have right now, because you are living in abundance. Whether you want to look at it as abundance or not, it's still an abundance. Okay. Now, okay, hold on. Something popped up in the chat here. Woo, okay. Like, I'm just saying, God told me to tell y'all this, right? So, the other thing that I want to talk about too, right, is the amount of faith that you have, right? Everything that comes to you, right, is coming from within you. Everything that comes to you is coming from within you. Everything in your outside world is a reflection of the inside. Everything in the outside world is a reflection of the inside. Okay, what does that mean? The amount of faith that you have is directly related to your experience in life. We ask God for less than what we want because we do not have faith in him or ourselves. Ooh. We ask God for less than what we truly want because we do not have faith in him or ourselves. God is everything. God is all. The kingdom of God is within you. God is riches, he's money, he's love, he's happiness, he's work, he's business, he's relationships, he's health, he's wealth. God is everything. The only reason that we would ask God for less than what we truly want is because we do not actually believe, one, that we can get it, two, that we're deserving of it, or three, that it's possible. You ask God, and I'm going to use this example every time. If you ask God for a Camry, he's going to provide you with a Camry. No problem. If you ask God for a Maserati, he will provide you with a Maserati. No problem. If you ask God for $100,000 a month in your business, he will bring you $100,000 a month in your business. If you ask God for $10,000 a month in your business, he will bring you $10,000 a month in your business. There is no big or small to God. God's not up there like, you know what, baby, 4 million, that's a bit much. I don't know if I could do 4 mil. You think God is up there doubting? Anxious? Ooh, didn't I tell y'all this was the faith of God? You think God is up there like, you know what? You right. $4 million house, that's too much. I don't know if I could do that. No, baby. God says yes. God will provide you with whatever it is that you ask for. But you have to be bold enough and have faith based on understanding that what you ask for, he will provide. Like you have everything right now inside of you to create the life of your dreams. You have God, because you are God. You and God are one. I and my Father are one. You are soulmates. You cannot be separated, right? You have desire, the actual want of more. I had somebody ask me, this was a while ago on TikTok. I was on live and she was like, I was talking to a friend and she was telling me that, I shouldn't want for things. And I said, first of all, why are you even asking her questions or taking advice from her? Does she have the life you want to live? No. What are we talking about then? But back to what she said. The fact that you want more is God speaking to and through you. The fact that you want more income, a bigger house, better health, more relationships, more love, more happiness in your life is God wanting it through you. Life expresses, okay? Life is never for disintegration. The grass outside, if we do nothing to it, if we leave it be, it will grow. It will express. It will grow as tall as it wants to. If I don't cut I don't cut the grass. But if whoever don't cut the grass will continue to grow as big as it could ever dream. But we limit ourselves, right? We limit how much we can actually receive and how much we actually believe we want because we feel like it's bad. We feel like it's bad to want more. Oh, I'm never satisfied. God's never satisfied. God wants you to have it all. God is not happy with you being poor. I'm going to be the one to say it. You are not expressing God if you are in lack. God does not want you to be penny pinching. God does not want you to be living paycheck to paycheck. He did not create us in his image to be out here struggling. What sense does that make? You think God, your father, our heavenly father is like, you know what? I'm going to have all the riches with me, but y'all, I'm going to let y'all scrounge around for the scraps. Excuse me? Does that sound like God? Does that sound like the Lord, the all-present, all-knowing, all-powerful being that's within us? No. But we've been taught through certain circles that it's bad to want, that we should be grateful or satisfied with what we have. You absolutely should be grateful, 100%. I don't care how much or how little you think you have. Gratitude is a way for you to get more. But satisfaction, being dissatisfied is a creative state. When you're dissatisfied with something, when you're unhappy with something that's going on in your life, it causes you to think of ways to change it. When you're dissatisfied with something in your life, it's because God is like, bro, I can't live like this. I cannot live like this. I need more. I need a bigger house. I need more income. I need more people to serve. This is not enough for me. So that feeling of wanting more is God speaking to you. I want you to hold on to that. I want you to give that your attention. What is it that God wants for me? God wants you to have it all. And depending on what you ask for is what he's going to provide to you. He doesn't like compromise with you. He's not like, you know what, $4 million, I don't think you deserve that. Let me give you two. No, God says, you want a $4 million house? I'm going to provide you with a $4 million house. But the other piece is we get caught up in the how and the when. Well, how is it going to happen, God? When is it going to happen, God? The first 4 years of my entrepreneurship journey, we're focused on the how and the when. Well, how am I going to make it happen, God? When is it going to happen, God? I don't see it, God. I had faith, but I didn't have the faith of God. Hold on, love. I know you hit your head. I heard it. It sounded like it hurt too. Hold on. I got you. Here, hold this. There you go. It was trying to do God's piece. God's part is the how and the when. That don't got nothing to do with you. If you can let go of your need to know how and to know when it's going to happen, you will be so much more calm, so much more at peace, and so much more confident. And you know, when you're calm, confident, and at peace, that's when things come to you. When you're anxious, that's not when the things come. Anxiety, when you're shaking, and you may not be physically shaking, right? But that's what anxiety is. It's a body that's not at ease, right? You cannot receive if you're shaking. I cannot get this glass of water if I'm shaking, if I'm anxious. I can absolutely receive it if I'm calm, collected, and confident. You see how easy that was? Very big difference between being anxious, worried, doubtful. How are you going to get the cup? You can't, right? But that's where faith based on understanding comes in. That's where having the faith of God comes in. Because when you have the faith of God, when God was creating the heavens and the earth, faith. He didn't have no blueprint. He wasn't like, okay, well, this is okay. So step one, create. No blueprints, nothing. God just said, I want to create the heavens and the earth. I want to create all there is, and I'm about to do it. I'm doing it in 7 days. That is faith. I'm sure God was looking out like, I'm going to keep going though. Don't matter what it looked like. I'm going to keep going because I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. I know that I am supposed to provide my children with all there is, the riches of the world, whether that's health, wealth, spirituality, whether that's relationships, love, happiness, joy. All that you desire is yours now and is inside of you. We talked about that on the last event. The kingdom of God is within you. All that you desire is within you. Your responsibility, right? We talked about God's responsibilities, the how and the when. Your responsibility is to have the desire. What do you want? What is it that you want? You got on this event for a reason. What is it that you want from this event? What is that you want to take from this event into your life to actually create, right? You have to have the desire. Persistence. Woo! You got to persist. Because when you are asking God when you're making bigger demands, right? When you're making large demands, persistence is your best friend because you don't know how it's going to happen and you don't know when it's going to happen. So you have to have the faith that if I continue every single day to step out on my God faith, if I continue every single day to move towards what it is that I desire, I know without a doubt, because God, this is God's promise. I know without a doubt that it is happening for me and it is coming to me. Right? But you have to have the inner knowing, right? That all that you're asking for is already yours. You're not asking God for anything that's not already yours. You're asking God for the riches that He already promised you. He promised you an inheritance. That inheritance is of whatever it is you desire. I talk every event, and I'm going to say it on every event. There is an infinity pie. There's a pie of infinity. Every slice is infinity. Infinity minus infinity is still infinity. So it doesn't matter what slice. No, it doesn't matter if there's a slice taken from this pie of infinity, there is another slice. Everybody has their own slice. Taylor has her own slice. Jimmy has his own slice. Callie has her own slice. M. Simone has her own slice. T has her own slice. Everybody has their own slice. Nobody can take your slice. The world likes to tell us that it's about competition. oh, we got to take, we got to take, we got to take. You're competing with them. No, you are not competing with anybody. There is no competition. Nobody can take what is yours. Nobody can take your slice of infinity. Nobody can take your inheritance. It has your name on it, your birthday, whatever you need to tell yourself about your piece of infinity, that's what's on it. And God offers it to you freely, but you have to choose to take it. You have to choose to go after it. God will give us whatever it is we ask for, but we have to ask. And again, a lot of us ask for lesser things than what we truly desire because we do not have the faith in ourselves or in God's promise. He said, let there be light, and it was, period. In the beginning was the word, not the stuff, not the heavens and not the actual stuff. In the beginning was the word, right? In the beginning was the thought. In the beginning was the consciousness, right? And the word, right, that was spoken created everything else that goes along with it. Y'all know how we talk about spells and they talk about not to use certain words or to say certain things? Y'all think that's just nonsense? Y'all think that's just hoopla? Your words have power. Your thoughts are the most potent form of energy. If you have thoughts of how you cannot do something, you're sending out feelings and vibrations of how you cannot do something and of lack. And if you're feeling and thinking lack, you're going to act from a place of lack. And if you're acting from a place of lack and God is affirmative, God is going to respond to you in the action or react to you in the action that you put out. It's not saying that God is of lack. It's saying that the channel that you have chosen, your channel, you are the channel through which God works through, right? I told you guys earlier that you're spiritual beings. You are a spiritual being. You have an intellect and you have emotions and you live in a physical body. Okay? You and God are one. You are soulmates. You can never be separated from the source. You are always connected with God. Always. God is omnipresent. Right now in this moment, you can attune into him immediately, right now. You don't got to wait. You don't have to ask nobody permission. You can tune into God right now, right? But you are the channel through which he works. But your thoughts, your mind, your consciousness, however you form the mold is how the substance is going to go through it. Okay. If I had it, I don't have it. But I just thought about it, right? If I have I do have it, but I'm not going to go get it. You know, you have like the cupcake pans, right? Like when you make cupcakes, there's a pan that you use. Like it's got little cups in it. That's the mold. And whatever you put into that mold, it is going to form itself based on the mold. You're not going to put cake batter into a cupcake pan and get a star-shaped cupcake. That's not the mold that you put it in. You're not going to put God's power, source energy in a lack and limitation mold and get prosperity and abundance. Do we see how those are not correlated? Y'all know my favorite analogy. If I plant an apple seed in the garden, I'm going to reap an apple 100% of the time. 100% of the time. If I plant an orange seed, I'm going to reap an orange 100% of the time. If I plant thoughts of faith, if I plant thoughts of prosperity, if I plant thoughts of oneness with God, I cannot help but reap the benefits and the actual physical manifestation of those thoughts. It is the law. It's spiritually and physically impossible for me to give God negative thoughts and for him to provide me with positive life. Those are not correlated. You cannot give negativity and expect to get positivity back. You cannot give lack of trust and expect to get faith. Right? Faith is the substance and the evidence. Faith is the cause and the effect. Faith is thought and action. Right? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. What does that mean? What does that mean? That faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is the actual essence of what it is that you desire. Let's say right now that your desire is to grow your business. You want to serve let's not even, you want to serve 10 people a month in your coaching business. Let's say you want to serve 10 people a month. Okay. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? What you want is 10 clients a month. You don't see them currently yet, but you want them. You know that God is using you as a vessel to teach others. You know that God wants you to help these people in their lives. You know that God has put it on your heart that you are a steward of his work and you want to help other people become stewards of his work. Okay? So your faith is the substance of the things you hope for. But it's also the evidence of things that are not yet seen. So when you step out on that faith that the 10 clients are coming to you, you're telling God, oh yeah, God, I'm serious. I'm a big dog with you. I want to change the world. So I'm going to step out. I don't see anything in my outer world that tells me it's happening, but I'm going to step out on the knowing that everything that I desire is already on its way to me. I'm going to step out on the knowing that you, as soon as I do my part, you're going to do your part. A lot of us want to have faith in God. We want God to do it. Oh, I'm going to give it to God. Absolutely, you should give it to God, but you're going to have to do something too. You don't just give it to God. You sit, meditate, visualize, journal, and do no works. That's not it either. Right? So when you have faith in God, right? When you have faith in God, you believe he's going to do his part. But when you have the faith of God, you do your part too. And you do your part in the energy of you knowing that you are one with God. Like I said, when God was creating the heavens and the earth, there was no doubt. There was no anxiety. There was no worry. When you got here, you had no doubt, no anxiety, and no worry. You learned how to worry. You learned how to worry. And you do it so effortlessly, so habitually. You're just programmed to worry now. You don't even gotta think, you know what? Am I gonna worry about this? You already gonna worry. You are programmed to worry. I had somebody a couple of weeks ago ask me, I don't know what my son was doing, but they asked me, they were like, do you think he's anxious? Do you think he has anxiety? Absolutely not. No. He just got here. He ain't got no anxiety. No. He has no anxiety. He is not anxious. He is faithful. He is confident. He is trusting, and he is loving. He knows that he is one with God because he just came from God. He just came. He just came from all through me into this world. So no, there is no anxiety. You didn't have anxiety when you got here. You didn't worry when you got here. You didn't have any doubt when you got here. You had the faith of God when you got here. And then the world told you otherwise. The world told you what you should do or shouldn't do or who you are, who you are not. Right? I know you guys may not have heard it, but it just came up for me, right? The saying that it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's not you being one with God that's holding you back. It's your belief in who you're not. Oh, well, I'm not a salesperson. I don't know enough. I don't have the education. I'm not successful enough yet. All the things you think you're not, that's what's holding you back. But who you truly are, a spiritual being having a human experience, God in human form, soulmates with the creator, that's who you truly are. And if you can come back to that, if you can get back to your oneness with God, everything else takes care of itself, right? But we've been so programmed to seek things outside of us. We've been so programmed to seek things of the world. Everything that you need is already in you, baby. All you got to do is bring it out. Everything that you need, what time is it? 10:50. Everything that you need is already in you. Everything. Everything. Perfect health. More money than you can even imagine. Y'all know Jeff Bezos has $220 billion? And you out here thinking money is scarce? Huh? And now let me say this before I go forward, because I know how y'all get about billionaires. I know how y'all get about people with money. Money is an exchange for service provided. Money is an exchange for service provided. If you think about Jeff Bezos, if you think about Amazon, do you know how much service this man provides? It's honestly insane. It is honestly insane how much service he provides. So $220 billion, I'm sure that's what he's worth. I'm sure that's what he receives because of the service that he provides. I just ordered a book off Amazon yesterday. I know y'all ordered some stuff off Amazon this week. Right? And the other piece of that is we are not to dictate how other people use their money. How you gonna judge somebody else for how they using their money? Let me come into your house and into your pocket and tell you how to spend your dollars. Oh, baby, best believe you're gonna have a fit. But when it comes to people that have more money than us or more money than we believe they should have, oh, we want to police their pockets. Baby, you need to be focused on your pockets. And the fact that you're focused on their pockets is just amplifying the lack, quote unquote, in your pockets. So the more that you focus on other people's prosperity in a way that is not praising or is not uplifting or rejoicing, right? You're looking outside of yourself and you're thinking that they have something, right? They have what you should have. Remember I told you guys earlier that we all have an infinity pie? We all have a slice of this infinity pie. You can get $1 billion slice too. You can have $1 billion slice. I got $1 billion slice. You may not see it today, but give me a couple years, baby. The amount of people that I plan to serve, everybody on this planet, oh yes, of course I'm a billionaire. That's how it works. I serve billions of people. It might be 20 of y'all on this call right now, but to me it's 20 million. Y'all know Jesus had two fishes and 5 loaves of bread? And he fed how many people? 5,000? And we can't even fathom that. Like our human minds are like, nah, that didn't really happen. That's just a myth. No, that shit happened. It took me a while to believe it too. It took me a while to believe it too, right? But our mind is, okay, again, it's a human, let me not say that. Our mind is not a human, right? But the mind is the part of us that connects to the human world. Let me say that, right? So we can't even fathom having 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread and feeding 5,000 people. We couldn't fathom that. But me sitting here on this live, I might see 20 people, but best believe I'm speaking to 20 million of y'all. Next week, when I do another event and it's 200 people, best believe I'm speaking to 2 billion of y'all. Right? But it's about back to having, faith, right? I don't see the billions in my bank account. I don't even see the millions in my bank account, but I have absolute faith that it is happening for me. And I step out on that faith every single day. Every single day I post on social media, I'm stepping out on my faith of God. Every single day every week that I have a live event, I'm stepping out on the faith of God. It does not matter what the outside world tells me. I know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, that everything that I am asking for is here now, and it's literally this close to being visible. That's where I want to get you guys. I want to get you to the point where you deny the evidence of your senses. Your senses will trick you. They will tell you that shit's not working. They will tell you need to give up. You need to get a regular job. They will tell you that your relationships are trash. They will tell you they will tell you all of these lies. You have to get to a point where your faith in God, let's back up. Your faith in self, right? And your faith in God is so strong that it does not matter what the outside world tells you, right? There is a place, there is a point in time where you have everything that you desire. The reason that I know this is because you can visualize it right now. Now, we're not going to do a visualization on this event, right? But you can go into your imagination right now and you can see yourself in the home of your dreams. You can see yourself with the partner of your dreams. You can see yourself with the car of your dreams. You can see yourself with the business of your dreams. It's happening right now. The only thing that we have is now. A lot of us like to think that we got time. And it's twofold, right? I want you to know that you have an infinite number of days or possibilities, right? You have an infinite number of try agains. That's what I call it. You have an unlimited number of try agains. If today the client doesn't come, try again tomorrow. If the next day the client doesn't come, try again tomorrow. Step out on that faith every single day, because there's going to be one day where you step out on that faith and you're like, oh shit, it's an abundance of everything coming to me from everywhere. Where have these riches been my whole life? It's going to be an overflow, right? But you have to continue to step out on it. You have to continue to step out on it. The moment that you stop stepping out on it, the moment it stops working for you. Like entrepreneurship, anybody on here that's an entrepreneur that wants to be an entrepreneur is thinking about entrepreneurship, I wholeheartedly recommend it. Find a way to serve people, not just for the money you're going to make, not just for you being able to create your dreams, but for the actual value that you can bring in other people's lives. I didn't start my business in 2020, right, for me solely. I had the vision of being a billionaire in 2020 because I wanted to touch billions of, it was 1 billion at that point, but now it's everybody. I want no stone untouched. When I leave, I want everybody to know who M. Simone was, period. I want everybody to know. Everybody. I don't want anybody on this planet to not know who I am. Right? But that comes from that confidence that I have in knowing that that is happening, comes from my oneness with God, comes from me focusing on God, comes from me connecting to God. Yeah, I was in religious circles, and I've been in, I grew up in a Christian household. So of course, we talk about God, we pray to God, we, bless, and, we do all these things, right? But we don't really step into our power. We do not step into the power of God in our actual lives, right? And that's not going to come from anything outside of you. That's not going to come from going to church. It's not going to come from reading the Bible. It's going to come from within you. All these things will help. Yes. Read your Bible. Sure. Go to church. Yes. Have people in your circle that are of God. Absolutely. But the realization of God and you being one is going to come from within you. It's not going to come from outside. Now, outside help is beautiful, and it is absolutely a resource to you. And I'm going to give you some outside help closer to the end of this event. But everything that you need is in you right now. Everything that you need is in you right now. All that you need is the faith of God to pull it out. Okay. Now, let me make sure, because I told you guys I wrote some notes. So let me make sure I've hit all of my points. Da, 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 da. This is the thing too. This is very important. Belief precedes manifestation. Faith precedes manifestation. What does that mean? You are not going to physically see what it is you want before the belief is in you. The belief has to precede the manifestation. The belief that you are one with God, the belief that everything you want is already here, the belief that the clients are here, that the food is here, the money is here, the happiness is here, the spirituality is here, the relationships are here. The belief that everything is already happening for you will precede it actually happening for you. Right? You guys, excuse me, I'm so sorry. You guys have heard that saying, what is it? I'll believe it when I see it, right? I'll believe it when I see it. That's not the faith of God. That's not the faith of God. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, you're not going to see it until you believe it. So now what? Now we're stuck. You believe, oh, well, I'll believe it when I see it. But you're not going to see it until you believe it. The belief always precedes the manifestation. The thought always precedes the manifestation. The consciousness always precedes the manifestation. The awareness always precedes the manifestation. Right? And when it comes to manifestation, because I don't know if I've actually kind of talked too much about it here recently, but manifestation is not something that happens to you. You are always manifesting. You're manifesting right now. You manifested this event. You're always manifesting. You've been manifesting since you got here. Your power to manifest is never turned off. It is always on. What my job is, what God has implored and ordered, let me say, ordered me to do, right? He didn't ask. He was like, this is what you're going to do. God has ordered me to bring your power to manifest back to your awareness consciously, to make you aware of your power. So when I talk about manifestation and when I talk about, oh, I manifested this or I want to help you manifest this, I'm not actually talking about doing something you've never done before. I'm talking about bringing your power to manifest to your conscious mind, making you aware of it and having you manifest intentionally. You've been manifesting your whole life. Everything that has happened to you, everything that is happening in this very moment, you manifest it. You may not have chosen it consciously, but you did manifest it, right? You inadvertently selected it, right? You may not have consciously chosen to be in relationships with people that treat you like shit, but you definitely manifested it. You may not have chosen to be fired from that job, but you definitely manifested it, right? Because you're always manifesting. It's never, just because you're not aware of something doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you are not aware of something does not mean it is not happening. So what my job is, what God has ordered me to do is to make you aware. Remember, I said it earlier. The only two things we suffer from are lack of awareness and thoughts of limitation. Lack of awareness and thoughts of limitation. And I'm sorry, TikTok. I know y'all been putting something in things in the chat, but I can't see. This is another thing, God. I broke my glasses. I was trying to hold on to them, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna throw these hoes away, and I did. And I decided that I'm gonna heal. Me and God are gonna heal my body fully. I'm gonna be able to see clearly with no glasses. I'm speaking it into it. I have faith. Talk about faith of God. Talk about faith. Woo, baby. Threw them in the trash. I threw my glasses in the trash. I don't want to be dependent on medicine the rest of my life. God told me I can heal myself. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Right. But back to the awareness, right? You guys are creating every single second of the day. You are creating every single second of the day, right? What I want to help you do, and what God has called me to help you do, is to help you become aware of your power, to bring it to the surface. So at the beginning of this event, I asked you guys what your beliefs were around entrepreneurship, faith, God, and yourself, right? What I'm doing, or what I did there, is I was bringing it to your awareness. I was bringing it up from the subconscious into your conscious mind, right? Because if you are not aware of the programming, you cannot change it. My favorite quote of all times: you cannot escape from a prison if you do not know you're in one. Whether you believe you're imprisoned or not, you cannot escape from a prison if you do not know you're in one. You cannot escape from the program that is manifesting your life until you become aware of the program that is manifesting your life, right? You cannot step out on the faith of God if you are unaware of your oneness with God. If you believe that you create solely and you're just a human being, you are limiting your abilities tremendously. God is in all of us. God is in everything. God cannot be separated from his manifestations. God cannot be separated from anything. You have to have God to have anything. You have to have God to have anything. Without God, there is nothing. And you are God. You and God are one. You guys are soulmates. Soulmates. I don't even know I think I posted this on Facebook maybe a couple months ago, and I said that you and God are soulmates. And it's been sitting with me ever since I said it. And I keep repeating that, like, God is my soulmate. God is my soulmate. And if God is everything, God is all there is, and the kingdom of God is within me, everything that I desire is already here and it's already within me. All I have to do is take it out. When you go to school, traditional education, and if you guys have questions, please let me know. We'll start the Q&A session here in a minute. But when you go to a traditional education institution, right? What do? They try to give you more knowledge. Son. They try to give you more knowledge. No, let me not say they don't try. They give you more knowledge. You come to school, and this is you. You're a cup, okay? So you're a cup, and you go to school, and they start dumping all this shit into the cup. I said shit. All this shit into the cup. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Just a whole bunch of stuff into the cup. But the cup was already full. Your cup is already full. Your responsibility is to bring it out. I just told you guys the kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of riches, the kingdom of everything is within you. Your job is to pull it out. But we go to school and they dump all these things in there. They just keep dumping shit in there. I went to college. I got a math degree. 3 years. Took me through, well, it was a 4-year degree. I did it in 3 years because I didn't want to be there that long. I also graduated cum laude, which is great, right? But I literally have not used anything that I learned in that math degree or in the 14 years of schooling that I had that has gotten me to where I'm at right now. Yeah, I got a job, sure. Yeah, I know how to count. Great, of course. I need to know how to count. I need to know how to read. I need to know how to write. Wonderful. But all that other stuff is just busy work. I said all that to say, God told me to create a non-traditional education institution. He said, look, I'm going to use you to change the world, right? So I need you to create a non-traditional education institution. I don't want you to teach them about the 15 or the 50 presidents of the United States. I don't care about that. I don't want you to teach them about the wars of 1957, right? I don't want you to teach them any of that. I don't care about none of that. I want you, okay, hold on, y'all. TikTok is doing something weird. Hold on. I want you to teach them about me. I want you to teach them about self. I want you to teach them about faith. I want you to teach them about entrepreneurship. I want you to teach them about confidence. I want you to teach them about consciousness. I want you to teach them about cause and effect, the laws. I want you to teach them about me. Because the more that I teach you guys about you and about God, the more that you can express God in everything that you do. But if you don't know, again, that lack of awareness, if you don't know all that God has for you, if you don't know about your connection, if you don't know about the confidence that's already in you, you're not going to be able to use it. Right? So, what questions do we have? Let me make sure I got what's on here. And I think I did talk about this. But before I get into the questions, right? I think I did speak about this, but just to reiterate, again, guys, what you get, what you manifest, what you experience, what you see, right, is all, oh, thank you for the heart. I love that. Is all tied to your faith. The level of faith you have, is going to dictate the level of your manifestations. Whatever you ask for, whatever you trust God for is what's going to come to you. So if you ask for a little is going to be provided. If you ask for a lot's going to be provided. Right? But the faith that you have in yourself and your God faith is going to dictate how much you ask for. I was asking God for a certain house. I did. I was like, you know what, God, I would love this house. I love it. And it was like it was probably like $4 million. And I said, God, this is the house that I want. And then, through, stepping out on the faith and living and all of this good stuff, God said, well, why not something bigger? Why not more? I said, you know what? You're right, God. Let's go for 10 million and let's buy it. Now, do I have $10 million in the bank account to buy this house right now? No, but I don't need it. That's not my responsibility. How it's going to happen or when it's going to happen is not my responsibility. My responsibility is to provide the service as an exchange. That's what my responsibility is. My responsibility is to help you create the life of your dreams so I can create the life of mine. My responsibility is to step out on the faith that the clients, the students, everything that I desire is here now and ready to be manifested. But I could be like, you know what? I'll just get a nice little apartment. You know, I just get a little 2-bedroom. No, that's keeping me small. That's keeping God small. God is always for expansion and expression. God is never for disintegration or limitation. So anything in you that says, oh, no, that's too much, that's not God. That's fear. Anything in you that says, oh, you shouldn't want that, that's not God. That's fear. Right? God says yes. God will provide you whatever it is that you ask for, but you have to ask. That's your responsibility, is to ask. Okay. Now what questions do we have? Now I'm gonna go back in the chat here on TikTok and see, because I wasn't even paying attention, to be honest. But you guys, if you're on Zoom or if you're on YouTube, you can drop your questions. I'm gonna go to the YouTube in a minute and check it and see what's going on. But let me just see what was happening in the chat. Because what time are we at? Oh, we're at 11:15. We're doing good. We're good on time. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let me just check. Yes, we had a lot of people come through. I love this. Yes. It is. Somebody said the tongue is powerful. All that we had in the beginning was the word, baby. And the word was made flesh. Is that what they say? All righty. That's the truth. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me check the YouTube and let me see what's happening over there. Okay. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is a great question. So the question is, how can I, oh wait, hold on. Where did it go? So this question is about basically doing two things at once, right? So at what point do I release my job or leave my job and go straight into entrepreneurship or go into full-time entrepreneurship? So this is a really great question. And this is something that I've done, right? So I told you guys that I started in my entrepreneurship journey in May of 2020, right? I attended a personal development seminar called the Paradigm Shift. I said, oh my God, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been seeking. A little backstory. I've always been someone who, I was just talking to somebody about this. I've always been someone who loves to teach others, right? Loves to provide information, loves to help people, right? And in school, I always had great grades. I always did the work. It was great. Who cares, right? But I talked too much, they say. I would not stop talking. From the time that I went to daycare to the time to 11th grade, my mom got notes and emails every single day about my talking. She's a great student. She just won't stop talking. She's wonderful. She just won't stop talking. Right. And, probably a couple months ago, someone asked me what my passion was, what it was that I was passionate about. And I said, speaking. I'm passionate about talking. I'm passionate about speaking. Right. So for me, when I got into this seminar and I heard about, what I'm teaching you guys now, manifestation and being one with God and faith and all of these things, I was like, this is what I've been meaning to, this is what's for me. I've been talking my whole life, but this is what I'm going to talk about for the rest of my life. I would do this for free. I would teach you guys for free. That's how passionate I am about it. And I've done it. I did it for a good bit for free, right? Because that's just how it was. But I said all that to say, right, when I first got into this journey of entrepreneurship, I attended the seminar. They told me it was going to be, I think, like $30,000 to invest. I had credit cards. I had a 401k that I pulled money from. I had savings that I pulled money from. I pulled money from wherever I could find it. That's how dedicated and that's how important this was to me. That I didn't care where I had to get the money, I was going to get it. I made a decision that I was going to teach other people how to create the life of their dreams, and I was going to find whatever means God could provide for me to do it. I quit my job. I put in a 2-day notice. I said, hey, my values have changed. I'm out of here. Quit my job, got into entrepreneurship, and started to fail immediately. Immediately. What did I say was the only cause of human suffering? Lack of awareness, limitations of thought. My awareness, it was lacking. My thoughts, very much so limited. I would get on calls with people and I would be thinking about the fact that I can't pay my bills. If I'm thinking about the fact that I can't pay my bills, that's a limited thought. If I feel from my thoughts, I'm feeling lack and limitation. I'm feeling scarcity. I can only act in that way. And the people that I was speaking to reacted to me in that way. Oh, I can't afford it. Oh, well, I can't, right? So it was from May to September, right? Was me going, trying to get clients, right? But I was still in the lack and limitation mindset. So September was when I signed my first client. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I get to help her change her life. This is going to be great. But I also decided at that point to go back to corporate America. But this time I had a different level of awareness, right? I knew that I didn't want to just have a job. I knew that wasn't going to work for me. Just a salary, that's just not going to work. I only get paid this much and there is no increase. That's not going to work for me. So I went into a job in sales. I got a job in sales. And I had a base salary at the time, right? So I was like, cool, I got a little bit of security. You know how they do, give you a little security, give you a little something. So I had the security and then there was commission. So I was like, okay, well, I know I can get commission. I know I can make more. Okay. So I got into the mortgage industry, right? In a sales job. And that was in October. By March of the following year, I had doubled my income. I was making $50,000 a month in May when I quit my job. And by March, I was at 100,000. Okay. So that was with me having multiple sources of income, one being my business, one being a rental property, and the other being my actual job. Okay. Fast forward. In March of that year of 2021, I kind of put my business to the side. I focused on the mortgages. Got fired from the job in like October. They fired me on my day off too. Super ghetto. Found another job in 2022, excuse me. In February 2022, started a new job. Wasn't in sales, but it was supposed to be, but that's another story. And then February of 2023 is when I actually decided, I said, you know what? I need to put more energy into my business. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I've had 20 jobs since I started working. I've been working for 11 years. I've had 20 jobs. I'm not a worker. I'm an entrepreneur, baby. Right. But I didn't have the faith of God yet to step out fully on it. So I told them in February 2023, I said, look, I would love to be here, but I need to do it part-time. I need more time for my business. So I went part-time. And then in July of 2023, I quit my job. Mind you, I was pregnant with my son. Okay. So I was pregnant and I quit my job. I did have a significant other that was working. So, it wasn't too much of a strain, but I quit the job. Okay. And I went back into my business, got back into the business, got back into it, getting into it. Still didn't have the faith of God though. I had faith in him. So in September, I said, you know what? I got a kid. Let me just get a job. Let me just be responsible for my son. So I got a job, September 2023. I was in insurance. I already knew that wasn't going to work. This is way too, you want me to do too much for too little, baby. This is way too much. But I got that job. I worked until January when I had my son. Okay. From January to now, I have not had a traditional job. I have been a full-time entrepreneur. So to answer your question, when is the time, right, to let go of your full-time job and to go straight into entrepreneurship, right? When you have the faith of God, that's when you should do it, right? because God is never going to make your business the main thing until you make it the main thing. If you are treating your business like a side hustle, it's going to stay a side hustle. If you are treating your business like just something you do occasionally, it's just going to be something you do occasionally. So you must decide when it is time for you to go all in on your journey. What I can tell you for sure is that God is your supply. God is your employer. I do not care what you think you got to do to get the funds. God is going to supply them to you through whatever channel you choose. So let me back up just a little bit. Told you guys I've been an entrepreneur since January, like full time. In what are we in? November? Last month, in October, I had a sales job that I started. Okay, so what happened was I saw this post on Instagram. I said, let me just send them a message, just apply, see what happens, right? Because again, that little bit of, well, I don't see it coming in was coming in, right? It's kind of looking like it's not happening. That faith of God was trying to dwindle. So I reached out to these people, applied. Basically, I got the job. So I started on a Monday, and it didn't even take me 2 weeks to quit. But I started that job. I was looking at it in a positive light. I said, this is a job that God provided to me. He provided me this opportunity, right? I'm coming from a different awareness because this job doesn't have a base salary. There is no security. I'm the security, right? There is no security. It's straight commission. So I had already known it was on my path because I'm like, okay, you showing up as M. Simone the Millionaire. Like, let's get it. I had to be there 40 hours a week. I needed to make like 300 calls a day or something crazy like that. All these things, whatever. The day before I decided to quit, I was on a live event with my mentor. And she said, the day that you decide to make your side hustle your main thing is the day that it will be your main thing. And it kept playing back in my head because I was thinking, oh, I could just do both. Oh, I could do this and I could do that. I could do my business and this. But you want me to spend the best part of the day working on your business. And then I got to just make time for mine. That didn't sound right to me. So that it was a Thursday. I sent my manager a message. I said, hey, I really appreciate this opportunity, but I got to be real. I'm not going to give it my all. And I don't want to do that to your business. So I'm a step away. He called me immediately. He was like, hell no. What do you mean? Like, out of the 30 people that we have in this training class, you are the only person that was about to, in the way that he basically phrased it was, I was the only person that was going to get the most commission. Let's just say that, right? I was the only person that they saw value in to give the most commission. Let's say it like that. So he then breaks down for me like the structure, the commission. He's like, and this is what it was going to be. It's $1,500 for da 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 da. And the human part of me was like, you know what? Okay, so I was like, let me think about it. So I thought about it, sent him a text back, and I was like, you right, let's do it. I'm ready to go. The rest of that day, I was like, dude, this is not it. Like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like, this is not it. So I went to sleep. I woke up. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. I sent him a message. I said, hey, I know I said this, but excuse me. I'm sure this time I'm going to let it go. So I had the opportunity. God, and this is the thing too. God is going to provide you with whatever you need to be successful, but you're going to have to choose what it is that you use to be successful. God said, oh, here's a beautiful opportunity, baby. Sales, no commission, $1,500 in 30 minutes. Who wouldn't go for that? But I know the value that I have. In 30 minutes, I can make 10 bands. Why would I settle for 1,500? That's crazy. That's wild. Right. But that's where I'm coming from now. And I'm also coming from a space of knowing that my business is God's business. God gave me this business idea. Right. So I'm going to go all in with it. So I said all of that to say, you have to choose when it's time for you to release the old and step into the new. But it's not going to happen until you choose it, until you make the decision. Hold on, y'all. My computer look like it's about to die. We ain't finna do it. Hold on. So my son, he likes to chew on these. And that's why normally I don't have it. Houston, why are you yelling? I'm almost done, love. Okay. So to answer your question, you are going to have to choose when to go all into your business. You will know when it's time to go all into your business. It's going to be uncomfortable. It may feel scary, right? But when you know that God is your supply, God supplied you with income through your employer because you chose a job. God will supply you with income through your business if you choose your business. It's about you. God is the supply. There's a middleman, which was your previous employer, and then you get the funds. But it comes from God through your employer to you. So if it does not come through an employer, it will come through whatever channel you choose. And the channel you choose is going to be based on your awareness and your consciousness. Son, this is mine, not for you. Hold this. I'm almost finished. Okay. So now, are there any other questions? Anything else that's coming up? Actually, why is it still, hold on, y'all. Why is it, oh, there we go. Is it done? I just want to make sure it's charging because I don't want it to die. Thank you. This is wonderful. Do you offer mentorship? I absolutely do, baby girl. We're going to talk about it here in a second. Give me 1 second, boo. I just want to make sure this computer does not die because that would be tragic. That would be tragic. Oh, why is acting like it's not? Hold on, y'all. Let me just make sure. I do not want this thing to die. Hold on. Why is it still saying? Hold on. I'm sorry, y'all. A little bit of technical difficulties. Just one moment. One moment, though. Oh. Because I'm gonna be real sad if, hold on. Why is it not working? Okay, so you know what? God said, don't worry about that. Go ahead and get it done. Because yeah, I got 14 minutes. So let's talk about it. We talked about faith in God. We talked about the faith of God. We've talked about blind faith. We talked about faith based on understanding, right? We've talked about focusing on the 90% of things that are going right and denying the 10% that are going wrong, right? We've talked about God being within you and the kingdom of God being within you, right? So what's the next step for you then, right? For people who see the value in what it is that we've talked about, right? And want to go deeper, want to actually get help with these things and want to make this their reality, right? That's what we're going to talk about now. So this is for the decision makers and this is for the action takers. So I told you guys earlier that God told me to create a non-traditional educational institution, right? I call it the Great School of Life. Life stands for living in spirit for eternity, okay? So the Great School of Life teaches you how to live in connection with God for eternity, okay? There's a lot of things that we are creating, right? But the one thing that I have implemented so far, and the one thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is thinking from the end, right? So this is a mentorship program that I created. It's God-centered, faith-based, right? Intentional, conscious manifestation. God is at the center of what I teach using faith, right? And I teach you how to intentionally and consciously manifest what it is that you desire. Okay. So what you get when you enroll into the Thinking from the End program, right? You get a 6-month intensive transformational manifestation program. Okay. Every week for 24 weeks, you're going to have a specific lesson that you watch, listen to, and then you'll have a workbook that'll give you questions and actually practices to put into, or exercises to put into practice that week. You also have live teachings with me every week for 24 weeks. So you'll have the course, you do that on your own time. You have the workbook that goes with the course, but then every Sunday we meet. And we actually, so after you go to church or after you do whatever you do, you come to me, right? So I let you do what you do there, but we're going to get you together here too, okay? It's on Sundays, it's at 3 p.m., but it is recorded. So if you're not able to attend live, it will be recorded. And that is something that can change in the future as far as the time, right? But the most important piece of this, right, is the community. One thing that I've noticed as an entrepreneur is that it is a lot easier. It is so much easier to stay in the faith of God when I have other people around me who are in the faith of God. It is so much easier for me to move my business forward when I'm around people that are moving their business forward. I told you guys earlier that there was one of my client who reached out to me last night and said that somebody said something to her and that made her doubt herself, but then she had to come back, right? I want you to be surrounded by people who are going to push you to think bigger, who are going to push you to know that God wants you to have more, right? So you have, again, the 6-month course, right? You have the workbook that goes with the course. You'll have lifetime access to both. So when you enroll as a student, you are always in the family. You will always have access to this program. You will have access forever. So when you get to that next level and you're ready to up level, you can use this course again, right? Because the information in the course is the same, but you are going to be different. Your self-awareness has expanded tremendously. I only need 7 days with you, baby. I gave you 2 hours. Imagine what I could do in 7 days. Woo, 6 months. Oh, baby. Oh, it gets me so excited. Okay, so before this computer dies, you have the 6-month program and the intensive and the workbook. Okay, that is, you have lifetime access to. You then have 6 months of live teaching with me that will be recorded, that you can go back to. And then you have the community of people who are also in the God-centered faith-based manifestation. The tuition for thinking from the end. Again, this is you're going back to school. I want you to remember that. This is not just, oh, I'm, doing this program. No, you're going back to school to study you. Okay. The in full for the tuition is $10,000. That's in full. If you are someone who wants to use a payment plan, the deposit is $4,000 and then it's $2,000 each month. If neither of those options work for you, do not get off this call and do not reach out to me.